Hi. Oh,
What's up?
hold on. Forget to that dip on my head. Well, go on.
What's up? What's up? Thanks for joining the live, the podcast.
Of course. That's not word. My day, I'm just hold on. Let's try make one little something before I go upstairs. Isn't me?
Oh yeah, what are you making?
So I'm making a little drink. Understand? Just pour some juice in my cup. And
Okay.
I haven't been on Instagram live in ages. Oh my lord! I feel like it's been a long little while.
Well, I'm glad that you're back on and you're on my podcast. I think that's dope.
Of course. Thank you for requesting me. Thank you for reaching out.
No problem. And I'm just gonna get right into it. What's up, guys? It's your girl Manaya Kid. Welcome back to Let Me Talk My Shh podcast, and we have special guest Yaadman Etan. Yeah.
Well done, everybody. Doing good. Wow. It's crazy how sometimes you mess around with certain characters and then how the catchphrases get.
Okay. So let's just jump right into that. Tell the viewers a little bit about that, because I've been watching your videos, but for those who haven't been watching and keeping up, tell them a little bit about that phrase you just said.
Okay. So basically, it's November, and some years ago, I think it started on Twitter. I think it was 2017, if I'm not mistaken. They started this thing in November called not November, right? So basically, you have these guys who would basically say that they're trying to abstain from certain activities in the month of November. They're trying to abstain from sexual activities in the month of November. So sometimes they come up and say some ridiculous things about, if, let's come up with some crazy things and crazy ideas about, since they haven't, had an ejaculation in X amount of days, certain things start happening to their heads. They start going crazy. Some exaggerated type of humor, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I told myself that let me do that this year, right? And the idea was I wanted to see if I could do like daily videos. Daily video entries. Oh, there it is. That's what I'm looking for. I wanted to see if I could do daily video entries as a practice run for Vlogmas. Vlogmas is here, right? So I said, let's give myself a challenge. Let's see if I could take this one topic and crank out 30 videos, right? And the idea was as well.
I got the rum. Oh my gosh, that's a lot.
So the idea was, let's see if I could do these 30 videos in the month of November. But I'm actually going to do this challenge. People will be questioning like, oh, are you actually doing it? Or them probably think like, nah man, I'm not doing it. I'm probably just doing it just for doing the video sake. Nah, I actually want to partake in it, because even though it is exaggerated, it's just a practice of self-control. And just knowing that if you could last a certain amount of time simply because you want to abstain, you could. There's that perception that some men just don't have self-control where sex is considered. So I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Let's actually do it. As Kalinske says, semen retention, right? Let's actually do this. And some of the feelings that I'm having throughout the month would actually add to the content that I'm doing, So I purposely, each week, it gets a bit more intense. So the first week was very normal. The first week was like, yo, what was the first day again? Oh, I woke up earlier than usual because I have nothing to distract me in the morning. And I started playing with the idea, playing with jokes like peanuts and almond milk. Yo, Mark, you get me?
Yeah.
The second day, I shouldn't say a music video started stressing me out. You get me? I said the third day, so the first week seemed very normal until I'm like, how can I make this even funnier?
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of the first week, that's where I did the reveal. And the reveal of this was actually the most popular of the series. This one is the most popular viewed on TikTok. When I revealed the character of Coco Slick being the talking lotion bottle.
Yeah. That's funny.
So that one, the reveal of that one, when I saw how much views that one got, I was like, all right, I have to keep him.
Yeah. He's funny. It's funny. It's a funny character.
Right.
I mean, and all your videos are funny, but I think this one really caught my attention because it's entertaining, you know?
Yeah.
You're looking forward to each day in the, like, you know, throughout November.
Right.
So it's really cool.
So when I said Ting Good a while ago, when I made the character, I was thinking, how do I want the character to present himself? How do I want him? What kind of character do I want it to be? So I figured, let's make him very obnoxious. Let's make him since my narration voice was a lot more standard English, let's make him the obnoxious Jamaican who consistently gets on my nerves. Let's make him borderline deranged.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make him persistent and annoying. But annoying is one of the most things. So I'm saying, what can I make him say? So the first day, at the end of the first week, I was just like, what can I make him say? And I'm like, yo, what am I eating good? Just something simple like that. Like, and I'm like, yo, who said that? And he says, talking lotion bottle, isn't it? So then I was like, so sometimes, no, when I'm hailing my friends, I'm like, yo, thing good. I'm like, Jano. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's catchy, you know?
Right.
And you just stick with it because, you know, you see how much views you're getting and stuff like that.
Right.
Yes. So you're very creative. How do you come up with these ideas? Is this like you just sit and think about it? Do you write it out? Do you plan it? How do you come up with this?
Sometimes it depends, you know. Sometimes it depends. My style, I always tell people, it's called exaggerated realism. It's things that really happen in my life that I just exaggerate for the purpose of a plot or a skit, right? So sometimes people think I made up something that, oh, how did they come up with that? I'm like, yeah, real life. You know what I mean? It's just that you just add certain elements of a joke to just make it, you know, a bit more presentable that way. So sometimes I do write things down. Longer videos, I like to write things down simply for the fact that I need to remember certain lines, certain scripts. If there's a particular punchline, if there's a particular joke I need to remember, I write that down. And I say, okay. Right? So it depends on the type of video. So some skits are easier to do than others, especially when I'm doing, heavy editing and I put in special effects. I need to remember certain cues. I need to remember where to stand. I need to remember certain things, right? Public interviews. I do that a lot on my YouTube channel. I'm going to bring that back this year before the end. Things like that. No, it's just a matter of I need to find somebody who look like they can give me an entertaining response, or somebody who can who willing to talk to me, and somebody who willing to, you know, who I can bounce my energy off of and they return it, and you know, at verbal tennis, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it really depends on the type of content that I'm going for. But at the end of the day, when I do come up with things, it's either something I see on social media that I can relate with, and other people can relate with this as well, or it's going to be, as I said, exaggerated realism, things that happen to me in real life, things that I have first-hand experience with, things that I've seen, and I'm like, yeah, this funny. You know,
let me put my twist to it.
Yeah.
You're really entertaining and you have the face for the big screen. Do you think you would ever get into movies or acting?
That's a great question. Let me see now, turn on. That's a great question. I always say that the social media space, especially when you have a career here, when you make money here, when you make videos, even if it's a hobby, even if it's not your job per se, right? The social media space is something that evolves your job, your job description constantly evolves.
Mm-hmm.
So even as something as making skits and portraying different characters and making videos, you are developing a talent and you are practicing skills that you may not even realize could be applicable later on. And talk about the Caribbean anime that so can I say what exactly I'm doing? I don't think I can yet. But
okay, so you have something in the works?
yeah, so Jamaica Star actually broke that story about I'm supposed to be I think I can talk about it. I'm supposed to be voicing a character in a project that this guy is doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that simply came from he saw me on TikTok. And that simply came from what he saw from my TikTok.
Wow.
So, you know, yeah, it was on the newspaper. Exactly. So I just remember, it was on the newspaper. I can't talk about it. So even from voice acting, so it's possible, to answer your question, it's possible to see yourself in the big screen, to see yourself, acting. It's possible.
Right.
It's a matter of consistently becoming better, consistently increasing the quality of your work.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just in your video quality, but it's also in your presentation.
That's very true. I agree. I feel like nowadays, like back in the day, when the whole YouTube thing started, it's like everyone thought they need the camera, the supplies, everything. But now everyone can just record on their phone and just post. Boom.
Right.
You know?
And with that being said, I actually did stand-up comedy before I even did YouTube, before I did social media.
Oh yeah?
I practiced that before I did social media.
How long ago was this?
When did I come to America? 2014. That means I started probably around my 20th birthday. About 2015-ish.
2015. Nice.
Sounds about right. I started, I was living in Atlanta at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw this place called Improv Atlanta, where they have like open mic nights. And I went there with my brother one day, just as a member of the audience. Because comedy has actually been something that it was kind of something that me and some friends were dabbling in on Facebook in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So when I came to Atlanta, I was like, yeah, we can do this, isn't it? So I mean, of course, the first time is not going to be your best time.
Right.
I'm not going to say that I've never bombed it before, but these are learning. This is a learning experience, But it was something that I really wanted to do, and I also thought, and I knew that I would eventually want to do social media, but I thought to myself that I know that there are people who are funny behind the camera, but can they do this on stage?
Right. So that means you're not a shy person then?
No. No.
So, okay, were you always like this?
No.
No? How did you gain like the courage to just be like, you know what, I'm gonna do me? I
threw myself out there. I as weird as it sounds, and I know for some people this might sound very anxiety inducing, which it was, I forced myself out of it. Growing up in high school, I was not the most confident person. I was not the person. I was fearful of even answering questions in front of a class. I'd be shaking and never really. And the thing is, I always wanted to have that ability, but I just didn't have that ability.
What advice would you give to people that want to be like you, but don't have the courage to do so? What tips would you give them?
You'd have to figure out how much do people's opinions matter to you. Because a lot of people they don't want to show too much of themselves because they fear the opinions of others around them. So you have to really come to grips with, yo, how much do I really care about the opinions of others? And another thing that I battled with for a long time, even when I started, even after I broke out of my introverted persona, it was trying to gain the acceptance of people for, even me making videos.
Mm.
One of the things I always told people is that, one of the things that I always knew rather was that people are not going to accept you until they bust you out.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how popular you are, there are going to be people who just don't like you. Just rock with the people who like you.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So it was an ongoing lesson for me, and for that, everyone does things differently. I would suggest you incrementally increase your resistance. It's kind of like training. It's like you're working out. You can't have a perfect gym body after one day of working out.
Right.
You have to do it step by step. Like you're trying to get a bit more extroverted. Try to do something that you're not comfortable with in an extroverted manner. But it's slowly. Me, I threw myself on a stand-up stage.
How was that? Like when you first was up there, were you like, oh my gosh, all these people, like this is so nerve-wracking, or were you just like, I got this?
I learned how to convert nerves into fuel. So one of the most important things is one, training your ability to improv.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because improvisation is a must. Even when
Yes.
sometimes I come up with something on the fly, like that's funny. Let's do that. I never prepared to do that, but let's do that. You know. However, what's more important than improv to me is a foundation, and that foundation is preparation. Right? I will say, like, I will not go step on a stage even for 5 minutes if I'm not prepared. If I don't know what I'm going to talk about, if I don't know what I'm going to do, doing it because I'm not prepared, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, if the idea is, yo, Yaadman, we have 10 minutes. We need 10 minutes because some girl on our back, like, yo, she's not ready, and we just need to kill 10 minutes. Can do that? Sure. Because I have the idea, like, you just want me to waste 10 minutes? I got you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a thing where that 10 minutes was solely on me, where it's like I'm supposed to give a 10-minute presentation and I have absolutely no idea what I'm supposed to talk about. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
You know? So it's that's where that comes from. Preparation is absolutely important. So if I'm going to go on stage, even if I'm hosting, if I am doing stand-up, I need to know what me I come with.
Mm-hmm.
Because especially when it comes to stand-up, is that what's important. A lot of people think that comedy is universal. It's not. Very subjective. So I need to make sure that I have material prepared for my audience.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't think that I have things prepared for that audience, I'd rather not do it.
I like it. I respect it. It's like you have your format, you know where you're going, and you're sticking to it.
Right.
Yes,
Correct.
yes. So I see the Jamaican flag in the back. Share with the viewers which part of Jamaica you're from.
I am like 1/3 of all Jamaicans, is it me? Kingston and is it? I am from I used to live in a place. People don't want to say I'm uptown for this, but I used to live in a place called Beverly Hills.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Big up my grandfather for building a house there that I grew up in. Yeah.
Cool. Yes, big up. My dad, he's from St. Thomas, so.
Got you.
Yes.
I am currently I'm nearby Orlando, Florida.
Cool.
I used to live in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here in Florida right now. I know some people ask me this question, so I'll just share it with you. I'm actually getting my travel plans prepared. I'm take out this. So is it me? 2 passport to my
Yes.
I go on know like which country your passport say. Not two of them. So yeah.
Cool. So did you start this journey in Jamaica or when you got to the US?
I would say that I would say that the path was forged in Jamaica,
Okay.
but I never really decided to fully get into it until I came to the US.
Okay. How does your community feel about you in this field?
Which community are you asking about?
Jamaica.
That's that's an interesting question, because my largest platform is TikTok. I have
Mm-hmm.
about 260 plus thousand people over there,
Mm-hmm.
but majority of them are not Jamaicans.
Mm.
You know, majority of the people who follow me on Instagram, and majority of people who follow me on Instagram are Jamaicans. Majority of the people
Is
who
that art or not?
are, and when I say are, I also include of the diaspora,
Okay.
right? YouTube, most people are physically in the States, but I know that most of them have a connection to the Caribbean, mostly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
The diaspora, I mean like people who probably move out of Jamaica, like in Broad County, Florida, huge YouTube metric, like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
right? So once I say Broad County, or, you know, Queens, New York, or, you know, Stone Mountain,
Yeah.
I know, right? But going back to TikTok now, this is the platform where it's mostly non-Jamaicans,
Mm-hmm.
right? So how does my community feel about me? The people who rock with me, I know for a while a lot of people have been saying that. I used to struggle with that idea. Now I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the people who would rock with me would say, yeah, I'm underrated. But the thing is, for a long time, I knew that I would not get I would not get I would not get a lot of Jamaican support until I already have a lot of support.
Right. I understand. Yeah.
Sounds oxymoronic, but I always tell people, just like I said earlier, you're not gonna boss until you boss.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're not a lot of people support popularity and not talent. And this is not me knocking anybody. This is not me knocking any creators out there. But there's some creators who can tell a very dry joke,
Mm.
and I could tell the very same dry joke. Because I'm not them, I'm not going to get the same response that they do.
Exactly. And I think that goes for a lot of things. Musicians, dancers, just the entertainment field in general.
Right. So to answer your question, for a long time before TikTok, I always heard a whisper in my ear saying, "Get an American audience.
Mm.
Get an American audience.
Mm-hmm.
When you do, the Jamaicans will follow." You know? And I love my country, and one of the things that I really did struggle with a lot was trying to be accepted by the country, trying to be,
Mm.
you know, like, what do I have to do for my own country to support me? That was something that I struggled with for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And now, when I look at my TikTok metrics, of the 260 plus thousand people over there, it's majority people from the United States. And when I say majority people from the United States, this time I can say it's not Broward County. It's not the diaspora. It's
Mm-hmm.
hello from Mississippi,
Mm-hmm.
hello from Utah,
Mm-hmm.
Idaho. Get some people from South Africa.
That's
You know,
so cool. Yeah.
what happened was, as I continued, as I grew on TikTok, what happened was I noticed that some Jamaicans saw it and was like, "Oh, I can't follow him now." And I've witnessed this in person as well. Like when I've gone to cover events,
Mm-hmm.
you know, before COVID, when I've gone to cover events, I realized that there were people there who knew who I was, who knew exactly who I was, but these were not people who necessarily supported what I did.
Mm.
So I was like, I see, I get it. I get it. I'm not in your clout tax bracket to get
Mm.
support yet.
Yeah.
You know me, you know? So a lot of that happens.
Yeah. But that is what makes the journey, you know, as long as you keep going. And I
Mm,
always say the greater the story, the greater the glory.
right.
tell the viewers, how did you come up with your name?
Okay, so the Yaadman part, it was I think it was in 2015. I went to a Caribbean club in Atlanta. And you know, when you go to Caribbean club states, even though majority of the people may be Jamaican,
Mm-hmm.
not everybody there may be a Jamaican.
Mm-hmm.
Go to a party and you go to a event in Jamaica, you know that for the most part, majority of the people here are Jamaicans. Right? For the most part, like a good 99% of the people in are going to be Jamaicans.
Right.
Right? Obviously, duh. In America, when you go to a Caribbean club, that number could be from 99% to all 10% event, depending on the event.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to soca parties in Atlanta already where I was the only Jamaican in attendance.
Wow.
Right? So I went to a Caribbean club and there was a Rasta man outside jerking chicken. And I realized that this Rasta man was from Jamaica, so I made him just let the attack and thing, you know. Just, you know, I ordered some chicken and thing. And then when it was time for us to leave, I said, yo, Ras, big up yourself. And then the Ras said, yo, Yaadman, big up yourself. So when I heard that, I was like, I knew he was talking to me. Everything that I just explained a while ago.
Yeah.
Because it would be weird in a Jamaica. And you hear one Jamaican refer to another Jamaican as a Yaadman in Jamaica.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
But in the context of this happening in the States, in that situation, I was like, huh, that have a thing to it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
No, the other part, Ethan, that's just my name. However, my name is Ethan, Ethan.
Okay.
But made it very simple because Jamaicans just can't pronounce a name.
Yeah.
That's like they're going to pronounce it this way anyway. So
yeah, that's true.
right. So that's where it came from.
Cool. So I know it must be cool to be you. I mean, I see all your pictures. You get to meet different celebrities. Tell me a little bit about that experience.
A lot of that was happening more so before the pandemic. But let's pretend a world where we didn't have to deal with highly contagious things. That was really a product of me making YouTube videos where I said I want to cover events.
Mm-hmm.
I want to interview people. It's funny how I have it right here beside me. Hold on. I want to interview people. And I want to cover events. So, a funny little story. The first time I ever decided to do that, I was using my iPhone. I never had a microphone except for this directional microphone.
Mm-hmm.
And I had like a windshield on it.
Mm-hmm.
I did like mostly 2 events out of this.
Wow.
I interviewed Irfan Alves. I don't know if you know.
Yes, I do.
Artist, and he was the first artist I ever interviewed, and he gave me an interview on this little directional microphone. And this was in Atlanta. I had some friends who were DJs, and I got some tickets to go to the soca event, and I just asked the promoter. I was like, "Yo, we can cover the event." Yeah, sure. Cause them know me, so yeah, sure. So it went from there to they saw the video. They're like, "All right, if we're doing events, you can come to this."
Yeah.
Yeah. So they gave me backstage access to the artists who they brought. And I mean, so I started with soca artists because one, I'm a fan of soca.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to go from so as I said, Irfan Alves was the first one, right? Then I have 2 brethren who decided to who saw what I was doing, and they believed in me before a lot of people believed in me, and they actually bought me a microphone.
Wow.
Because them say, yo, you need to upgrade from this.
Yeah.
Isn't me? They bought me a microphone, and they also bought me a microphone flag.
Oh, nice.
Right? So this combination was where I have most of my artist interviews from.
Mm-hmm.
This allowed me to do bigger events. This allowed me to the carnival. I always make a joke and I say, yo, Shensi, they touch this in that, isn't me?
Wait, so not to cut you off, but now that you mentioned her name, big artist Shinsia, what was it like meeting her?
That needs another story because that was months of preparation, right? Because it started off as a joke where I would just let go like some not random. I would let go some reckless comments in our comment section. I noticed one day I said something wild in our comment section and it got a lot of likes. So I was like, okay, let's do this. So I just kept it going. So as I kept it going, I had no end goal for what I was doing. I just saw I post something, yeah, man, I comment on this. Since I post some picture, yeah, man, I Photoshop this. Since yeah, I'm gonna say annoy her and then she saw me, she reposted a couple of the stuff. Then I'm like, yeah, man. So what happened? Back to the interview stuff now. At this point, I already have some experience interviewing some people and things. So in Atlanta, some people reached out to me, hey, we want you to cover Atlanta Carnival. So I was like, I'll do it. You know, they're saying, you know, Mr. Killer will be there, Nala Blackman will be there, Wasways will be there, Shensiaga there. I say, really? So what happened was I started really living in our comment section at that point because I know getting access to artists is not the same for every artist. Some artists will give you easier access to them. Artists are very hard to get access to. And I knew that Shensia was going to be hard to get access to, right? So I purposely lived in that section because I would know who I was, right? So their carnival come now. We saw Ramesh. We get one picture with Ramesh. Shensia come, and when Shensia was on stage, it was wild because, you know, people them are, you know, bomb rush the stage and everything, but, you know, I got piece of performance and camera, this and that. So now people are running her down to the bus because, you know, Ramesh check her up and flicker in one van, right? And people just are run down Shensia because they want a picture and this and that, but then security step out and say, yo, if you're not media, move. And that's I make sure. I'm like, yo, if I'm covering events, I don't want no VIP pass. Me need media pass. Right? So I'm like, so I was there with some other media teams, and then Shensia get locked up in on the bus. Then turn out that even though media what could be around there, they said artist not doing an interview. That's like, so everybody was just bummed out, right? So then one of the media people them looked at me and was like, yo, you know, said you're the only one who can do this. I'm like, what are you talking about? I never had a chosen one moment until Atlanta Carnival that day.
Wow.
Like in turn to me, like, you're the only one who can get it. I'm like, what are you talking about? Because she knows you. I'm like, what? So they take me and they bring me over to Ramesh and they beg, I have not yet to say a word. They beg Ramesh to get me an interview with Shensia. And oh no, I'm like, and then Ramesh looked at me and said, oh, him can't go on. I'm like, you see me? So I was very nervous because I was like, Jano, like, cause one, she's not in the mood to do it. And at the time she was having issues with her voice. Right? So I was like, I know she's not in the mood. Cause when them opened the bus, she looked very annoyed. Right? But what helped was when she saw me, she was like, I know exactly who you are.
Oh, okay.
After that, it's like, it just melted away and everything was good. You get me? I was nervous because I was like, you know, send me the one who didn't comments, right? Yeah, man, right. So
yeah.
So that was the part where I was nervous. And then, you know, she was very good. She was very good with me. She was very giving to the jokes. You know, she really because one of the things that I also do when it comes to interviewing artists, I don't like to just ask like the regular, you know, questions. But
yeah.
Like, I want to show their sense of humor.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So she was very giving to that, and you know, she gave one very good interview, and you know, she had me dying. You get me? She was really she really entertained my foolishness.
Uh-huh.
No, so that was great. So yeah, went from there Carnival to New Orleans Caribbean Festival that same year, and just wherever I've interviewed various artists. So it's not just Shensia, it's Shensia. I've done Chichin Ching. I've met Ding Dong. I've met Demarco. I met Alkaline one time. Oh,
Cool,
never
that's dope.
forget for doing an interview though. Cause you know that go. Who else? Stylogy. I did Stylogy when I moved to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So various artists, soca artists as well. So yeah.
Dope. I love it. I feel like, although you're an entertainer, it's like you have a business mind to it. The way you map everything out, that I feel like you need a business mindset in order to do something like this and to be great.
Oh yes.
And I know great things are coming your way. Seriously.
Thank you.
Yes. I'm telling you, great things are coming your way. Who is your inspiration or what inspired you?
I have different inspirations depending on the content.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Public interviews. One of the people who has been a mentor to me, one of the people who has given me pointers on this was Dottie Berry. Right? And I'm glad to say that I have been able to develop certain friendships on social media because of social media.
Mm-hmm.
So Dottie Berry has given me a lot of pointers, and he has really inspired how I go about doing interviews, because he himself does a similar thing where, him go there for the foot. Yeah, he can do serious interviews if he wants, but at the end of the day, it's a feel good type of thing, and you show like a different side of who you having certain conversations with. You know what I mean? So he has had interviews with Spice, and when I saw that interview, I'm like, oh my god, like I would never like. How are you so comfortable with her? Like she's running certain jokes with him, and it's like, oh my lord, I don't think I'd be able to like. Wow, like if that. So just seeing that type of dynamic and seeing how comfortable he is around people being in that space, So
Right.
definitely, and so you see some other people doing public interviews, from JNL doing trick questions on the streets. It's just a matter of doing something that, even though other people are doing it, do something that I may do differently. One of my more popular ones was the Rate Me series. I go to yo, I want you to rate me out of 10. Why? Talk to me. When I was downtown, some of the people them must say, oh, them do like locks, and some of the girls them say, oh, them might come around, and just some ridiculous, get some ridiculousness out of them, right? So that's where interviews, right? Characterization, for years I never realized until around 2019, Twin of Twins.
Oh, okay.
Twin of Twins was growing up. I used to listen to a lot of their stereotype volumes, and just with Twin of Twins, they would create pretty much audio series. There was no video series of the things that they did. It was all audio. And listening to their characterization and listening to how they created certain characters and they impressed other characters. So being able to capture a character and emulate that energy through voice alone. Young Don the Sauce God, YouTuber. I don't remember what his subscriber count is. Probably way over 1 million right now. He went to Arden High School. I went to Arden High School.
Oh, cool.
Right. And the thing with Young Don is that as much as I see what he does, and I respect the hell out of it, he is a Jamaican.
Repeat that again?
He's a Jamaican. Doing big things on YouTube from a similar background that I'm from. Right? And he decided to live life the way that he wanted to. He's going to become an entrepreneur. He's going to be a content creator. Right? he does animations. I don't do animations, but just the idea of creating content was inspirational for me because it was something that I wanted to do, right? Um, this may be controversial to some people. Alkaline, similar reason. He went to Arden High School. Alkaline was a year ahead of me, right? And just seeing what this youth was able to do from that same school, it was very inspiring, you know. Other non-Jamaican inspirations, there's a content creator. I don't know if he still makes YouTube videos, Niga Higa.
Mm-hmm.
From high school days, I found him absolutely hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Right? How he's able great quality work. And that's the thing that really the quality, you know. And of course, the fact that the number one individual YouTuber in the world in terms of subscriber count isn't even an American. He's Swedish. And that's PewDiePie. No disrespect to Sweden, but Jamaica is a world known country, you know, as small as Jamaica is. So I'm saying, so like, why can't I do things like this? And I understand that this is something, it's a non-traditional job that our parents and relatives are going to want to look down on, but I don't care. You know, like if I have the drive and the support and the ability to do it.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah.
So would you say this is your only, would you consider it as a hobby or a career?
It moved from hobby to career.
Okay.
At first it was a hobby, something I do in my free time.
Mm-hmm.
Until I realized I'm like, yo, I can make money from this, like, for real.
Okay.
People will pay me to make videos.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people will pay me to go to their events.
Mm-hmm.
People will, and then of course there's revenue that you can make online. YouTube being the most popular one.
Right.
Instagram, TikTok does it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so it's I would definitely say it's a career. And the beautiful thing about this career is that I don't need, I control my time. That's a bittersweet part about it. I control my time.
Right. It's entrepreneurship.
I choose when to clock in and clock out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I have the ability to work and I have the ability to choose not to work. And because of that, I don't have an office. When I go on vacation, I'm still working.
Mm-hmm.
When I go home to Jamaica for 3 months like I did last time, I can do that.
Right.
Right? If I were to go to if I were to go somewhere else, like a foreign country, I'm still working as long as I have internet.
Mm-hmm.
Do it. And that's the idea.
Would you say there are any cons of being a content creator?
Of course.
What is that?
If you do not have that support system, and if you do not have a consistent, if you're not consistent and you do not have a consistent fan base, you can go broke real quick. Right? I've been there. You know, but it's important to learn financial literacy.
Mm-hmm.
The money that you do get, you don't braff it all. Money that you do get, you know how to manage it. Like this year I learned how to invest my money. This year I learned how to this. I'm not a scammer, guys. I'm not a scammer. I'm just
No, yeah.
those of you who know, you know. If you don't know, I am not a scammer. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I learned how to invest my money, learn how to read charts.
Mm-hmm.
About the different projects, you know, what makes Bitcoin different from Ethereum, what makes Bitcoin and Ethereum different from Dogecoin, what makes them different from Stellar Lumens. They're all different, you know what I mean? So I learned the space. So now it's not just, oh, the money that I get from my platforms or the money that I get from bookings and promotions. But now when I do get that money, I can reinvest that money.
Right.
And then
Yes.
when that money is reinvested, I can now take that money and reinvest it back into the craft, get new equipment if I need new equipment,
Yes, yes.
you know, and continue it that way, you know. Merchandising is another thing. I need to pay more attention to my merchandise stuff on YouTube. Merchandise, if you have a consistent fan base who really rock with you, you can sell your merchandise.
Right.
I,
Yeah, I agree.
I wish I had a graphic design who could make like a design of like Coco Slick. I put it on a shirt and say, well, go on my G. Is it me that? I'm like, yo, I would love to do that, you know. But still, it's just a matter of leveraging what you do have. Right.
Yes, yes. So this is you. This is your career. Who are you behind the camera, or when the camera's not on?
I'm just a regular Ethan. You get me? Just a regular youth. I TikTok has really peeled back a lot of my social media layers. So for live on TikTok, people tend to see me more as my regular self. You know, I'm just talking about certain type of issues, or whatever I'm doing, or doing nothing at all, or something. I'm just a regular guy who, I still play certain video games in free time. You get me? I say I watch series. Hell, the series I've been watching that just done, Arcane, is based off of League of Legends. If you know, you know. On Netflix right now. You know, so I'm just very much I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm just being honest. I'm just a very humble youth who just make videos. You know, I'm not as hyperactive as you may see Coco Slick depicts himself in these TikTok videos, but I can be. You know, but I'm just very chill, and yeah.
Cool. I feel like that's a way you can draw a lot of people to you. You're so humble, but you're funny. It's like they love your work, but when they meet you, you're so humble.
Right. Because I feel
Yes.
that's a missing element in this space. And I'm really thankful. I thank God all the time that I did not get as much attention as I did. Like the attention I'm getting now, I'm glad I never got it when I was 20. Glad I never got it when I was 19.
Wait, so how old are you?
I'm 26.
Okay. Wow.
So, and the reason why I said that is because I know that the maturity that I have developed, I did not possess at 20.
Yeah.
You know? So, if I had gotten that much attention when I was 20, the hype would have probably gotten to me. You know? But it's just something that I see a lot. And you have a lot of people who are very hype. You know, and you have a lot of people who just seem as if they're not personable. And I'm like, bro, we eat the same, we shit the same. Come on now.
Right. Yeah.
So like, it is surreal to me when people approach me and sometimes they lose their minds. You know what I mean? Like, yo, chill. You know what I mean? Like sometimes, like that has happened before. It doesn't happen before, and it's like, I don't know how to deal with this. You know what I mean? Well, I always tell people that, yo, it's good. I'm here. You know, just you want a hug? Sure, forget.
Yeah.
Like, I'm but at the same time, I do understand what it's like. You know, being a member of an audience and there's someone who you watch every day, and especially when you feel as if you've developed some type of connection to them because of social media. You know, so and because of the social media element, you don't know who they are in real life, and
right.
Their own examples and their own experiences and things that they've seen on social media, people being hype, they would expect other people to be hype as well. But I'm not really on that.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So now that we learned a little bit more about you, what message would you give to your fans and supporters to conclude this interview?
Before concluding, I would like to say, big up my management, EFFIT, EFFIT.
Yes.
Right. A funny thing about my management is that when some people reach out to me like you did,
yeah,
the thing is I say, hey, talk to my manager. And that's not me being hype. That's just me following protocol.
Of course, business mindset. That's the only way to go, you know?
Right. So with that business, I always tell people like, hey, you can book me for your promotions, for your businesses, for your to book me for whatever events, book me for to promote a business. You know, reach out to my manager at fit.ltd on Instagram. Right. Uh, my management has been a blessing to me to really teach me more about navigating the social media and corporate space.
Mm-hmm.
And I always tell people like don't feel as if I'm hype because I forwarded it to my manager.
Yeah.
You know, I forwarded it to my manager because she has to approve this because we're looking at my branding, we're looking at your branding, we're trying to maximize and see what can go
Of
on.
course.
Yeah.
And I respect that, seriously.
Right. The message that I have for people is that social media, and you hear this from a lot of people, is that social media is something that people will really show, generally speaking, of course, people will show the best of themselves, right? However, you have to remember that social media is a business for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And that sometimes you should not take things so personal,
Mm.
you know? So you may see somebody make a joke about owning them relationship, cheating in their relationship. That doesn't mean that they're cheating in their relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's some people I find take things so personal on social media from people, and I'm like, hey, just do a bit, like read a bit more, look into things.
Mm.
It's not as it doesn't have to be as personal as you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and with that, sometimes people on social media are not exactly who they present themselves to be. Some people developed what's the name of the word? A one-sided relationship. Some people have I forgot the name of the word. Some people have developed a one-sided relationship with personalities on social media.
Mm.
But I love her so much. I feel like she and I could vibe so well. Stop doing that. Hey, don't don't do that unless you know people in real life. I always tell people that don't do that because I I'm guilty of doing that. Have done that before.
Mm-hmm.
And then you meet some people and they're like, this ain't it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's my advice to people. They say there's a lovely quote that I've seen uh done around for years on social media of Abraham Lincoln that says and I quote, "Don't believe the things that you see on the internet."
Mm-hmm.
With a picture of Abraham Lincoln right beside it.
Oh.
Don't believe the things that you see on the internet. That's the real thing that you get from there. You know what I mean? So that's really what I'd have to say. Just I post videos just to have fun. If I'm posting a video that is not supposed to be about funny related content, because I'm going to say it. All right, guys, all fun and jokes aside, dead serious. Da-da-da. You get me? But besides from that, I'm just telling jokes. So. Yeah.
Well said, well said. And I know we said we were going to conclude this interview, but I have one question to ask you because I always ask my guests a fun question. So tell the viewers, what is the craziest thing you ever done in your life? Like crazy.
I mean, there is the fact that I decided to become a content creator, despite the unknown of what the older family my older family would have thought. But I just stopped caring about it. To me, that was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, so you don't want to be a doctor? No. Here I am making a fool of myself on the internet. I'm getting paid to do it though.
Yes.
So to me, that was crazy. But in terms of like physically crazy, like hold on, what kind of like hold on, what's the rating here? I want to understand like
your perspective.
Jesus. The first time I did the do was at Hope Gardens, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can say how old I was. but it was at Hope Gardens, which is a big botanical gardens in Jamaica, which is like a public space. You get me? So like just the thought that I was like, wow, I really did that. Wow, jeez. I was like young and dumb, you know. Anything else that really, because there are things that I said that I want to do. There are things that I said that I would do. Besides from those things, I don't think anything are really standing out per se. But yeah, I would say, yeah, I would say that's pretty much it.
Cool. Okay. Sounds crazy to me. I appreciate you tuning in, joining in, and listen, great things are coming your way.
Yo, so people that may don't know, say Yaadman Etan, and they can subscribe to my YouTube channel at Yaadman, Yaadman, space Etan, Etan. You can follow me on Instagram at Yaadman_Etan. You can follow me on TikTok at Yaadman_Etan. And do I have any place else? You can follow me on Twitter too at Yaadman_Etan. So yeah, that is me.
Yes, and that concludes the podcast episode of Let Me Talk My Shh. You can now listen on Apple Podcasts and YouTube. Yes. Pick up yourself. We are out.
Thank you, my dear. Pick up yourself.
No problem.